My topic today is to inform you how elections are done according to Lions Clubs International. Since becoming a Lion, every election seems to be an issue. We question those in authority. Some do not like to ask questions. Some get upset when they're told we are wrong. Now, I may say something that may ring true to one of you, but I'm not pointing fingers, so don't leave here thinking I'm talking to you. I can only use the experience that I have in order to get my message across. The election term for the Lionistic year is from July 1st to June 30th of the following year. All officers, other than a 2-year director, shall be elected annually, shall take office on July 1st of the year, and should hold that office for 1 year. The club presidents appoint the nomination committee, which normally is 3 members from the club, and that is called a standing committee. Which this standing committee can also be picked when a new president comes in. That's the time to pick the committee for the election. That way, the members, the three members will look at the other members in the team and could grade them as they go along, because you have 1 year now to look at a member and say, the 3 of them, of course, and say, you know what, I'm looking at Lion Anthony, and he could be our next president. But that has to be decided between the committee, which they will bring to the board at some point in time. I am suggesting that the president look into obtaining information from Lions Clubs International that he or she will be able to give to the chairman of the committee, so that that person will be well equipped when they're talking with their 2-man team. Because when you pick somebody as a chairperson, you want to make sure that person is equipped to do the job. Eligibility. Voting privileges are granted to members present at the meeting and who are in good financial standard. Normally, they fall into a number of categories: an active member, an affiliate member, an associate member, a life member, a member at large, or a privileged member. Elections are held no later than April 15th of each year. The club secretary is required, either by mail or personal delivery or email, to give notice to each member of the club at least 14 days in advance. The nomination committee submits the names of candidates for various office held to the club membership at the nominating meeting. Additional nominations can be called from the floor. If no nominations are made from the floor, the officers and directors nominated by this committee may be elected by acclamation, which is an expression of being elected without opposition. If there is a contest for any position, the presiding officer may call for a standing or written vote. A standing vote is called a show of hands. A written vote is the ballot we used at our last election. No nominations can be made from the floor at election day. The candidate receiving majority of the votes cast for each office by the club members in attendance at the meeting shall be declared elected. When that is completed, the election chairperson will now announce the new board for the new year, which will be the president, the secretary, the treasurer, first vice president, second vice president, third vice president. Some companies, some clubs have a third vice president. There's the membership director or membership chair. There's the 1 year director. There's 2 1-year director and 2 2-year director, depending on your club. There's a tail twister and a lion tamer. The tail twister and the lion tamer are not, they're optional members. So you don't have to have a tail twister or a lion tamer. If the chairman of the board does not announce the names, someone from the membership can get up and say, line chairman, I would like to make a motion. I would like to move a motion to nominate the slate as it is presented to us. This can only be done on election day. It cannot be done on nomination day because you must have nominations to allow members to nominate persons from the floor. And when that is done, they must have a second. Someone must second that. If it's not second, then it's null and void. The chairperson now accepts that once it's second, and he or she then congratulates the new team for the Lionistic year. The secretary now collects the information and prepares the PU 101 to send to Lions Clubs International. And this must be reported within 15 days of your election. The chairperson can also state that at this time, we're not nominating the tail twister or the lion tamer, but she must do that at the election if time permits, or if we don't want to do that at that time. The new president, when he or she comes in, they can nominate someone as a tail twister or a lion tamer. The president can do that and just ask for the members for a vote, and that will take in effect. Now, at the end of the session, we have completed our election. The last meeting of the year, which is June, at that meeting, the president must hand over the gravel, the gong, and all the equipments to the new president. It must be done at the last meeting. Our last meeting, that was not done because I did not know that. But I've learned subsequently that the president at the last meeting must hand over everything to the new president at which is the June meeting. Now, by handing over, it just means that he or she takes effect in July, because anything happens from the time that is handed over to the end of June, the president, the current president, is responsible. But all these handover takeovers must be done before that election, before that person takes, at the last election. Okay? At the last meeting. I'm sorry, thank you. Now, are there any questions?
Yes. Would you clarify the difference
In what?
between nomination day and election day?
Okay. Nomination day is the day when the election team brings the slate to the meeting. The election team nominates a president, a secretary, a treasurer. So they come and bring that slate to the meeting and says, this is the slate that we are presenting to the members for President, Secretary, and Treasurer. That's what you do on the nomination date, and that's the date. All the members can nominate from the floor. Election is when we have the actual election, and you cannot have no nominations on that day. Election day, everybody has been certified, you've already checked, they've already paid their dues, and they're qualified to be nominated, to be elected on that date. So nomination day is when we nominate a person, and election day is when we elect that person. Nomination day is supposed to happen, it's supposed to have 2 separate days. It should happen in March, should be the nomination day. And then in April, we do the election. It's also, it could happen in February, but it must be 2 separate days. Any other question?
Can you explain the different stages of memberships, or you mentioned like 5 different membership before?
Yes, I can. We have active members, and those are us. We're active members. We're allowed, we pay our dues. We're allowed to vote in club elections and in state elections and in international elections. We can vote there. You have a member at large. A member at large is somebody who is in a club but is sick, and they can come and go. You know, they pay their dues. They don't have to come to every meeting, but they're still a member of the club. They could only vote at club meetings, cannot vote at state or international. There's the honorary member. An honorary member is somebody from, must not be a lion. Somebody from the outside, like a senator or a doctor, that you brought into your club and give them an honorary membership. They're not allowed to vote under any circumstances. They cannot vote anywhere. You have a privileged member. A privileged member is somebody that's in one club in New York and lives outside in Guyana. They pay their dues here and they can visit another club and partake in all the activities that that club have. They cannot vote in that club, but they can vote in their home club. You have a life member. A life member is somebody who has been in Lionism for about 20 years. The club pay their dues, which means if we have somebody that's been here for 20 years, we will have to pay their dues. But there's a one-time fee, and I don't think they have too many life members in Lionism. There's a one-time fee that that person has to pay to Lionism, to the Lions International, of $650. That person, if they want to become a life member. So they pay that, or the club pays that to Lions Clubs International, $650. But they cannot vote, they vote in clubs, but not in international or in state. And then we have the affiliate member. Let's talk about the affiliate member. Yeah. And last but not least is the affiliate member. That's a member who so much desire to be in your club, but does not want to partake in, like Brother Louis, Deacon Louis. This is what I'm saying. He would love to take part in things that we have. He's not a member, but he's a supporter. Yes, he's a supporter. He can partake in any projects that we have without paying the dues and all of that. He would, you know, as usual, everything in Lionism you're responsible for. So if he wants the vest, he can buy his vest and be a part of us. He could partake in all the projects that we have. So, Deacon Louis, something to think about. That's you.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking of the meeting that you have coming up in Chicago. That is an international
Yes.
meeting.
Yes.
And at that meeting, there is some kind of election that is taking place.
Yes.
And I do recall a statement made in this club that not everyone who goes to that meeting
Can vote?
can vote.
Yeah.
Could you reconcile that with what you just presented, that once you've paid your dues, you can vote?
Vote. Okay.
Why is it if I go to Chicago, I can't vote?
Okay. Lions Clubs International has their own guidelines. In order for members to vote at international, to every 37 members, between 1 and 37, you're allowed one vote.
For every 37 member in a club.
In the club, you're allowed one vote. So our club have 32 members, only one person can vote when they go to Chicago. So that's Chicago's. There's another election where we nominate the governors in Lake Placid next week. For every 10 members, the club, we're allowed one vote. So we're gonna have 3 votes at that. 4 people are going, but we're only allowed 3 votes because—
It's like Congress, it's representative.
Yes, so that's where that is coming from. Any more questions? Yes, Victor?
On election day, when someone is being elected, could we, after that person has been elected, could we come back later and reverse that decision? Are we allowed to do that, even if we feel that?
At what time do you want to reverse that? On the election day or after?
The same day, or maybe a day or 2 after.
No, that cannot be reversed.
Oh,
Unless the person do something bad, that the members could come and vote against the person and says, this person has done this, it's not acceptable, and let's make a decision to remove the person from the post.
He's thinking of Donald Trump. Go back in.
Not so easy.
It's not easy.
Any more questions? No more questions?